I want to ask Reggie a question, and then I want to add a brief contribution. From the perspective of the Nile Valley, what does Sankofa represent?
Turn to the source and
Well,
fetch.
Sankofa comes out of West Africa,
Okay.
right? And it's the Sankofa bird is a bird that looks backwards,
Yes.
right? And if you don't know your past, you don't know where you're going for it. That's what Sankofa means. It looks like the Sa bird in ancient Kemet, right? But those are two different civilizations. I can't really bridge the
By
gap.
Sa,
without
we're going back
speculating.
to the goose.
Yeah.
Remember the word for sun, as in Sarah.
I can't bridge the gap because it's so far. I can only speculate. I could say that there's a continuity of African culture. The Sankofa bird could be looking back to our past civilization. Ultimately, it's a gold weight in ancient Akan civilization. You often see it standing on a step pyramid. You see it standing on a step pyramid. The gold weights have a lot of ancient Egyptian artifacts. So I won't go as far further than saying specifically how it relates to Egypt, except for some of the understanding comes from that.
Now, we're going to show a dichotomy now. The first thing that came to my mind when I heard Sankofa for the very first time, which by the way was only 2 to 3 years ago, and I heard it from the mouth of a Kemetic master teacher by the name of Jabuti, otherwise known as Mfudisha. When I first heard him say it, I said, wow, this is a powerful concept. The concept of Sankofa means to turn back and fetch, or to go back and retrace one's steps. Or in other words, we cannot advance in the future unless we have in our grasp our understanding of our past. Powerful concept world over. We don't find it anywhere else but Africa, but namely we see it in West Africa, right?
Yep.
Now, keeping in mind the time that the term Sankofa arises, as Brother Reggie pointed out a couple times today, you have an admixture of different African groups. At no one time in Africa do you have one distinct African culture. Africa always welcomed other tribes, and there were always other cultures pervading. In other words, Africans were able to coexist with one another. It doesn't mean that we didn't swing a sword at each other when needed be, or when issues or time and chance call for it. What it means for the most part, Africans were able to sit down with each other, even with different tribes at the table of Africans, right? So let me give you the Hebraic interpretation of Sankofa. I said to myself, I know for a fact that Kemetic culture is heavily steeped during this period in West Africa. But I said, because I know of the Igbo experience, I want to now examine whether or not the term Sankofa has any relationship to Hebrew. And here is what I found. In the Hebrew lexicon called Brown Driver's Hebrew Lexicon / Dictionary, under the term Samek Ayin Nun, which gives you sun, sun in Hebrew means to walk or tread. T-R-E-A-D. The second part of the compound, kofa, or in Hebrew, kafa. Kafa literally means to turn back. What am I saying? What am I pointing out? Brother Reggie was able to show you that in the Kemetic ideology, we can see where Sankofa is coming from. But because history shows us that there was also a mixture of different African groups, and namely I'm choosing to exemplify the Hebrews at this period, we see that the term sun in Hebrew means to walk, and kafa means to turn back. So what we were talking about is the confluence of African ideas coming to formulate one grand opinion. We cannot advance in the future unless we have within our grasp the understanding of our past.